And welcome to the show. Bass and Bonsai and the Girl Scouts are back in the house. I got bamboozled by the Girl Scouts as I was leaving Bass Pro Shop, so I had to get some of those. And then Thin Mint, you can't go wrong with those. And then I had to get, because the girl there said that was her favorite. And I shouldn't be eating any of this, so I'll probably go put it upstairs and hope the kids eat it before I get to it, right? So no, that's not what this video is about. Hang tight. What's up, Frank? So anyway, I was going to make a video yesterday. I stayed home yesterday. We had a snowstorm and this and that, so I was busy tying up some, tying up some jigs. I got a jig problem, so... And guess what I bought at Bass Pro Shop? I bought more jigs. And guess what I got? $200 worth of in my tackle warehouse in the cart, but I haven't bought them yet, but I should I got a problem. Let's face it. Not all of them are peanut butter and jelly, but we did some peanut butter and jelly in yesterday. So we're going to get through that, and then we're going to talk about what I picked up and what I was mainly at Bass Pro Shops looking at. And so for those of you that follow the channel, you know the deal. Like like Trump talks about how he's good about, he weaves and does this and that. Trump ain't got nothing on me. You guys know that deal. So the guys from back when I was doing shooting video stuff, they always want to comment on one of the videos when I was talking about how to do this and that with the GLOCK and, the PSA daggers and stuff. Like, he just never gets to the point. Like, yeah, that's the point of the thing. Do I want to teach everybody in the world how to do this or that? No, I'm showing you what I do. And if you follow along the channel, I'm more than happy to jump in there and help when I can. But I don't want this to be a channel where the guy just jumps in and, sees a bait and then just goes and gets it. I want you to be part of the show. You guys know the deal. Those that follow along, you know the deal. We're never going to be a big channel. I've already decided that. We've got over 10,000 subscribers, but I don't think we're ever going to reach that pinnacle of 1 million subscribers. But we're good. We're fine because I've got a real job and I go to work every day. Well, except yesterday. It was snowing. I couldn't go to work. Somebody just called me a sissy. But anyway, the jig, you guys know the deal. I don't know if I've got one of these left that isn't doctored up. So the peanut butter and jelly jigs, I've added different stuff to it. So you guys all know that. That's the mop jig, and there's the Crocogator, and I added some stuff to it. So then I figured, why the heck not? Because I had these other jigs, right, for a while now that I bought, and they'll work fine. These jigs, it's kind of a confidence thing. But if you remember right, I was buying these, if you buy 10, they're only $1 a piece up at Rogers, right? Just a little more finesse jig. So they will work, but they're kind of, that one actually, I've already caught several fish using that color. I think I've caught a few fish using that one, but right, just regular jigs. So anyway, I got excited and I started doing stuff yesterday because I was kind of bored. And I proceeded to take these other jigs that I'd gotten from Rogers, and it's a little more subtle, but I added a little bit to those. And then, where's the other one? So these are more subtle looking. If you really look, you can tell there's not a huge difference. They're already kind of bright. So that wasn't the main one I was even starting with. I just did those since I was working on adding stuff. But so here's the one that I think it made it look better, and it's going to be better. I know, it's just subtle. So there's the original one. Nothing wrong with that jig. It'll catch fish. But then, so what I've done is I just added some material on both sides to try to just get a couple different colors of purple and different stuff in there. So anyway, I was bored and I just was doing that. But then I started realizing of all the different jigs on Tackle Warehouse, I've only ever seen... Oh, wait, that one don't go in there. Oh, my God. Get out of here. I already took you out. I've got a couple more of these somewhere, I think in my day box. But, yeah, these don't go in here. If you guys remember right, I took out... Where did I I get those from? Some of these jig, I got too much stuff. I got to start going through my boxes now, and actually the ones I got like 5 or 10 of, and just take them out. There's too much stuff for the other jigs we got coming, right? So, if you're not, go back and watch the other videos if you're not sure on what I'm talking about with all these other jigs. But we got a ton of different baits, and so I also added some to a few of these other baits. I don't think I did this one. I think I left this one alone. If you remember right, this bait and this bait were the same thing, and so I added just a few more colors to this guy, and I did buy a few things. I already had that other live material, then I had some of these skirts that kind of like live rubbers, so I just peeled a few individual things out, and I really think that one helped it, gave me more confidence in it. So far, this is my favorite style of jig that had that Arky style. Did I add anything to these? No, the Phoenix I left alone. So these are the 3 that I just got different brands to try. These are the actual ones that I know I have more confidence in the colors, the way they already are. The mop jigs, these are just regular, I don't think these are nothing to do with mop, but this is like their live rubber version that I've added some other stuff to. And so what else did I buy? Is that all of them I need to talk about, that except for what's new today? So today when I was with Roger Sporting Goods, I really went there looking at rods and reels, but I realized that in my clip things I didn't have as many of these. So what I basically started doing was to simplify it for me, and Bass Pro has these, I just buy the red ones for my regular stuff, and then, which I have a ton, I won't need to go to AliExpress, but then I'll go buy the smaller stuff for my BFS stuff, just buy they're cheap on AliExpress, like 10 pound and less, 6 pound, 8 pound, the smaller snaps, plus you technically don't need as much. But the Bass Pro Shops, these house brands they've got, size 1 and 2, they'll pretty much cover everything. I think I had one more size bigger for like my big swim bait stuff, but pretty much no bigger than 20. I forget what they claim the rating is, but you definitely don't want to, if you're throwing anything over 20 pound with a tight drag, 20 pound or bigger, you might not even want to use that size. You might want to go even bigger than a size 2. But honestly, for most of it, like 15 and under, that size will work. This will work for 20, but like how I set my drags, my stuff gives. I honestly, I use the 20 pound to help me not lose baits, basically. Or I'll go down to 15 if the water's clear, but the P-Line Original, the diameter of the 20 compared to the 15 is not that big of difference, and I started to where I try to use that. But anyway, I guess I could explain that another day in another video. So today, when I was up at Bass Pro, I was browsing through the stuff, and I realized they've got these in stock there. PBJ is out, sprayed grass. You don't know what it is, Charles, because you don't know how to throw peanut butter. You don't know how to present peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to these bass. But yeah, this color, I'm sure it's out, because I've got like 50 jigs in this color, and, well, I've got jigs in all the other colors too, though. But I do realize that I needed more black and blue. And we're going to try to find, not just the color, I'm going to try to find my favorite jig head, which I think I've already found it. And I just need to get some, and then if they don't have the colors I want, tie up my own. So I've also, in my cart, I have a bunch of different colors of skirt material. I may start tying my own. So we picked up 2 more of the, if you guys remember right, somewhere in here, I've got 1 3/8 ounce and 2 1/2 ounce and a 5/8. So I ordered another 5/8, and then just while I was up there, then they had, this is the last 2 they had in stock, 3/8 PB&J. I went ahead and picked up the last 2 they had. They were like 4, 5, I don't know. How much were those? I don't even remember. They were under $5, I think, or right at $5. Anyway, mini mop jigs, and then the dirty jigs, I think, but I don't know, and you guys may know better than me. I don't know that I've bought any dirty jigs except for maybe this guy, a swim jig. Is that a dirty jigs? You guys tell me. I can't remember the swim jig. It's got like a finer kind of, feels like a finer little deal. It's stiff, but I don't know. I think that one may be a dirty jigs. Not for sure, but this is probably the first dirty jigs. Super matte brown, which, as you guys can tell, Charles, it's got a little purple, a little bit of that brown with some, I guess, just some regular. Well, actually, it looks to be about 3 to 4 different colors in there, but kind of a subtle, which some of these are or were, and I didn't leave them that way. But then I think these are becoming my new favorites, but I don't know if it's this size. They make the, is it the baby or the mini? I think it's a baby structured jig. I've got some of those on back order because I've noticed maybe America's favorite jig is this Denny Brauer, the smaller one, and these mini mop jigs, because they seem to be selling pretty good in multiple colors. But so this thing, I've already got some, and Charles may remember. It's kind of like a cross. They call it the structure head Cobra or whatever, but it's kind of where it's in a lot of contact, but it's got a point to it. So it's kind of like a football with a point, to where it'll get down, be making contact, but it's not going to get hung as nearly well as what a football jig will, right? Because I'll be honest, I've come to the point I don't really like football jigs, but you know, why not get this color, right? What color does that look like to you? I don't know. Looks kind of peanut butter and jelly-ish, but I don't even think it says on the package. So I've got this one, not that one. I think the others are in my day box. Let me look. Oh my God, I just put that stuff in there. Hang on. Hang on. I know, there's a peanut butter and jelly floating around here. Where? Here it is. I think that's it. Yeah, so I've got black and blue that I got to try, but the one that I was tearing them up on that day, Charles will remember, maybe not. This one also, you can tell it's got the most use of any of them I've used, because if you can remember right, I bought, because they come, I'm pretty sure the weed guard is like already, like these just come ready to fish. They come in good colors. They're no joke. Like in my opinion, I like these better than I like the Greg Hackney and the Flip and Floor and all that. Greg Hackney is an awesome fisherman, but he fishes with way heavier tackle than me. These Denny Brauer ones are awesome. Like either the Super Destroyer, the Tequila Baccarat, you know, little stouter hook and stuff like that. But so I wanted to get a few more in a different color, but I want to get the baby ones to see if I like them better, which ones I like. I think it's either going to be the regular, and I pretty much only fish half ounce. I mean, I've got some 3/8, 5/8 type stuff, but 3/8, 3/4, 5/8, you know, a little bigger than half. But anyway, I'm going to put those probably all in my day box. I've got, I don't know, I got 3 or 4 now of the Cobra headed Denny Brauer structured jigs, but I've got on my Tackle Warehouse deal. Every one of them, every color in half ounce is on back order, but they said it'd be soon, so I'm going to get those ordered probably either tonight or this weekend. And there's a few other brands that are coming, but I like that style head, this style head, which isn't far from an Arky. You know, flipping, pitching, not really the straight, but this is probably my favorite head. But I think that's tungsten. But I like the price of the Denny Brauer ones. I think this was $5.99, like $1 more per jig. But it also is pretty much weed guard, ready to go, sharp hook. So this year is going to be a year of discovery, Charles, once I finally get down there and we start fishing. To figure out, try to fine-tune which jig style I like better for that bottom stuff. And I know you should have all, but I've just come to a point where the bigger footballs anyway, I'm not a fan of. I've got one somewhere. Yeah, this big monster one. That's a big wide mouth, large mouth football jig for largemouth bass. I just stuck that on there so the colors look like. I'm gonna get it's getting the rage crawl thing or whatever that other one is. It's getting that color, but in a different profile. I think that thing needs something a little bit bigger as it goes down to the depths, a little more flappy flap. So anyway, I wanted to take out, let me look at the dirty jigs. This will be the first time I think I've actually had, because they're calling this the tour level pitching jig. Now, I guess they went away from the dual color head is what, if I remember reading right on the Tackle Warehouse thing. So I think they've gone to just, they were kind of fancy and it's got a little purple on the bottom, and then they realized they probably don't need it that fancy. Probably didn't lower the price, but it, makes it a little less time consuming and money probably. So definitely a good looking jig. So if you remember right, this is what you call it. They all swear by them, tactical bassin. So we just got this one and this one. I'm still just in the luck I've had with that style head so far. I mean, there's no doubt that's like almost an Arky style. It is pretty much. Little lighter, like this is going to take a little more. You could probably use the same rods. This one you're going to yank and crank kind of hard. And this one you won't have to be quite as, if that makes sense, if you can see that. Like, I don't go by the overall, because sometimes you can get ones, they say they're 4/0, 5/0, and it depends on how thick a gauge. Because if you remember right, these crazy Hackney, these big wide gap looking ones, but they work good. These, they look like they're a huge gaff that's going to be hard, but it doesn't take a lot. This is what I believe it was Hannah was setting them with not a very stiff rod, and I couldn't believe it. But I bought some. These are good, but I just think they're flipping floral ones or whatever. I don't think they're as good, in my opinion, as either, well, what just dirty jigs would be, or this Denny Brower, or our tried and true, well, like this guy here, or the because this is just a Crocalgator. I think these are the cheapest way to go is those Crocalgators. You can get like 2 for $6 maybe, or $6.50. Their peanut butter and jelly is definitely a little more bright. I tried to add those colors, but I've caught fish like it works, and I kind of like the way you definitely want to cut the weed guards down a little bit on those. Or the old, where's the half ounce? I think the half ounce ones, are these half ounce? I don't even remember now. 3/8 or half ounce, but that style on the mop jigs, all closely related cousins, maybe. I know I got too many. Look at all these jigs. Look, peanut butter and jelly is like, I'm getting peanut butter and jelly everywhere. This jig, I can't really tell what color that is. It's still got like a film on it from, I don't know, out of the mold. See how it's got like that almost like some of your reel knobs have that thing. It should be a little darker colored once that clears off. Yeah, I could see where, now I may just leave these alone and try them, and then if for some reason I'm whacking them and these aren't, I can always add the colors like I did. So anyway, do you guys want to open these? If you guys remember right, these have been coming, like the quality control is what I feel anyway, a little off on these. They put the colors on this side, on that side, and I really didn't switch them. I just added to them, and if you guys remember right, the 5/8 is the one that came out of the package, and I'm like, wow, that looks cool, right? Just, it was like perfect, and it really wasn't even a mop. So like, there's that one. All the colors are definitely on the bottom, intentionally. They're put on the bottom. I think they look, it may work better. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. On the bottom, the one big one, wherever he's at. Yeah, this one came just like that. I didn't touch that. That came out of the package. I haven't cut nothing. It really wasn't like a mop. It's, I mean, it's got a lot of them, but they already like cut up. And this was definitely tied to where just a few strands are on the bottom, and most of it was put up like on the inside of it. And just to me, that looks, I don't know, that looks like the best one of the bunch, you know, that's going to sell the Fisherman. Which other? That's my Croco Gator. What did I do with the other one? And so this is the one that I think, did it come up there or I spun it around? I may have spun one around. But that one to me looks good now too. And that's I think that's the one I intentionally spun it around and added some of the live rubber purple to it. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Super glue. But I made myself a little tool because I got tired of doing the thread wrap. Now you have to, if they're like this and they're tied on with wire, there's no way to slide other stuff under it. But what you can get lucky on, and I'm gonna go through all these again and figure out what to put in my day box and all that, is when you have this style. So let me get, this one's easier to see maybe. Let me get this one. So really, no matter what size the head you're dealing with, whether they're these little ones or whatever, the minute, and I did it on this one too, when they're just put on with those bands like this, you can actually cheat it and slide other colors on in there to where you can't really tell that it wasn't put on like that. And then I just add a little bit of super glue just to, you know, like this one, if you look, or you can add super. I don't know how, I think they must put these on, they must become already like on the band. They slide it on, and then if you look, there's a piece of wire in there. Can you guys see that? So then they tie that on. Now, I still just slid the colors I put on. I slid in. Now, I didn't put on this one, those purples, those came on there. All I added was these little, just that little hint of a different color to. So I just added like those two on this side, and the other side, maybe I could add another one or whatever. Same thing like on this one, I added basically two of each color of this color, the light brownish color, the brown living rubber, and the purple living rubber on those jigs. And I probably still need to trim those up. You can do it multiple ways, but I was just sitting there and I rigged myself up this little, like, push it through and then, you know, pull it back through. So you could even do it with like these little dudes right here. Now, you can actually do it even easier than this. I just haven't made one because when you get this back through, getting that through can sometimes be a pain. All you really need is, I'm envisioning like something like a paper clip. It's basically something with a loop that you slide through to where the loop, like I could probably rebend this if I wanted to, so you would crimp it down a little bit more, but you just slide the loop through the rubber band. This one's way too big for this little jig. Put your, skirting material through that and then just kind of ease it through. And then, position it, get it close where you want it, but then you can always a little fine tune it. If you want to add just a few colors, because one of these somewhere, oh my God, where'd I put it? Like on this one, I added just a few colors to that dude too, just to see what it'll do. I put them on bottom just to give it a brighter one. I showed you guys the regular one. So I added, now this is one, they come at Rogers and they're stuck on either way. And so I just left them that way. We've got this one with that darker color was just already on top. That color on bottom. And this one was, reversed. So I was like, well, I was getting ready to switch. And I'm like, I'll just leave them like that and add a little, just a little more color to the bottom, because some of these other colors, where's that jig? Like this jig is insane how well they'll hit this at times. So sometimes a dull color is fine. Here's the ones that already come pre-made just like that, right? Is this Summer Craw or whatever that is? Missouri Craw, Summer Craw. That color just times it like will go on fire. That jig's beat up. But so I wanted some of these colors, you know, that bright, and then a little, you know, duller with a little bright on bottom. And I could always just pull one out here or there, cut it down if I want, if I think that's too intense once I get out like on the water. But then just some of these, you know, with a little hint of something. They're just these dollar jigs that I'm adding a little bit of something to them. And then I do have somewhere, there's one or two that are just regular color. They're not even, you know, hardly none of that highlighted color stuff. So anyway, let's get to talking about what I wanted to talk about was rods, right? We don't talk about all these jigs. I'm still up in the air on, I don't need any more rods. So I've been debating on picking up another couple rods so when we start doing fishing, we can do a little shootout. So part of me wants to go buy every 6'9" fishing rod that is on the market to put up against my 6'9" Super Destroyer, and then get the one Phoenix Feather that Eddie, I think it's Eddie that keeps telling me about it. But I've heard several people talk about how light and how good those rods are. So part of me wants to buy that one. Part of me wants to go buy all four of the 7'1" ones, and if I like them, just shorten the handles a little bit and make them just under 7 foot, kind of like my 6'11" whatchamacallit, if I go that crazy. So I should just buy one or the other just to try those. I've never seen, just like some of these jigs, you know, that I'm talking about ordering from Tackle Warehouse, that I have not seen in person. So I'm putting my hands on them. I want to see it. So I may buy the 6'9" from it's like what, $150. The problem with rods are, once you buy a rod, like a reel, well, not once you've used it much, but technically a lot of these reels you could buy and then you could resell and not lose a lot of money. A rod, unless you sell it locally, there's no way to really ship it. It's going to cost $20 to $40. Like, so I'm a little leery about buying rods unless it's like in person or it's just something I know I wanted kind of deal. So what I thought about doing is picking up another one of the 6'9" medium heavy carbon lights, because that is still what I consider my best that I've ever fished chatterbait rod. Even more so, these ones I've got here, like my blade and all those, they're like lighter, they're more sensitive. You can use them for other stuff. You can detect the stuff. But as far as like boom and setting that hook and having chatterbait fish on, like, you can't beat that 6'9" carbon light from Bass Pro. They got a 6'9" technique specific Johnny Morris one, but it's for a frog rod. Like, it feels more like a jig rod. So I was up there checking it out, and the reels that come with it, because right now they still have like a sale on their combos, so you can get the rod and reel. And so the reels, the guys are trying to tell me like, no, they're not made by Lew's anymore. They're Daiwa makes them now. And I'm like, give me that reel. So I looked at them like, that's a Lew's reel. Like, it clearly, the Johnny Morris and the new carbon light reel, it's different. If you guys remember, right, when I did those videos a couple years ago, that older reel is not the reel now. Like, that, I think they were still Lew's, but they've updated. So I believe the frame is the same frame that they use on the new BB1. It's kind of bigger, and then it's got on the side plate, it's got the dials down here. And it looks to me like what the Lew's BB1 is what both Johnny Morris. And it's got the dual braking. So it's got the centrifugal or mechanical, whichever way you want to look at it. And then the magnets also, which that's one of my favorite, other than Daiwa or Shimano stuff. That braking is like definitely good. So you can get that rod and that 6'9" frog rod, which I'd actually just use it for basically anything. Like, it's right around the Super Destroyer. So I've just tried. It's $119, but if you buy it and the reel, which is $129, you can get them both for like $219. So you're saving money. But like he said, within a few weeks, usually Bass Pro, and you guys, if you're in the know exactly when they always have like a sale and they have trade-in stuff, which I don't have anything to like trade in, but you can do that like rod and reel trade-in, and they do knock 5 or 10 off even more. So I don't need it right away. I don't even know when I'm going fishing, so I didn't buy them. I was just up there looking at them. But they had the Lew's Custom, which is the smaller size reel. It's not much different than my MG Extreme 2 as far as size wise. It's a very little reel. But I tried putting it on a few different rods, and it almost makes you feel bunched up. Like that reel is so small, and it's got a sort of a big gear housing. But it's basically the Lew's Custom that's up there for sale, on sale right now, is originally $179 and it's $119. It is basically the same frame as what their BFS one and their skipping one is, but it's just a deeper spool frame. And so it felt very good on the Lew's light LFS rods, which they're actually just about like, if you guys don't know one I'm talking about there, I think they're $129. They're basically built off like this. They got this reel seat. I think they're soft touch too. It felt kind of like they were, and they definitely have like a wind grip. And they've got several different models, but that reel, because you can see how far back this reel, like this one moves everything. So this reel seat kind of moves. It definitely keeps that trigger back, so nothing feels cramped when you're palming it, which I like. And those new, pretty cheap and feel good. Those rods felt very good too, and that little bitty reel did feel good on those. But I'm like, I don't want to buy that whole rod and reel combo. I don't even need it. So when I went and I took the Johnny Morris one, which they're selling as a combo, I put that reel on it. It palmed. That feels good. So there's, here. Yeah, the little custom one has this kind of, and the Johnny Morris ones have this, right? So they're not this frame, but if you guys have seen, I think the BB1, the orange reel, I think that's the newest frame from Lew's, and that's what the Johnny Morris is, and the Carbonite. The Carbonite though, it's so bright and so white, and then it's got a carbon fiber handle, and it looks weird. So I don't think I'd be buying that combo, but I know somebody's saying, no, Charlie, you tried that reel. That reel fell to pieces quick. I'm not sure if that was even Lew's. I guess that was a Lew's. Casts like a machine. If you guys remember right, I love the way it cast, but then it started getting geary sounding like within the first week of owning it. I don't know. I think that was a flaw. I got a dud somehow. But I am thinking about getting the new Johnny Morris reel, the black one with the frog deal, just to have a combo, because for just over $200, and if it does go even cheaper than that, I'm gonna wait and find out. I could see where that'd be very good for these bigger, like, even throwing jigs. I have to see how sensitive it is. The white carbon lights are not very sensitive compared to any of your higher end stuff. They're awesome rods, but don't get me wrong, a lot of guys are going to probably jump on, oh man, my carbon light's sensitive. Matt caught a bunch of jig fish on the carbon lights. I'm just telling you. They're not sensitive compared to the NRXs, compared to the Poison Adrenas, probably even the X Prides, or I don't know about these Lew's yet. I haven't really had a Lew's out fishing with it in a while. But if I remember right, I had the Mach Pro. I got a video out when I did a review on that combo. The only thing I didn't like about that combo is how cramped up the reel felt on the rod. That was a 7'1" or 2. Chatterbaits was fishing it. Man, it felt good. Like it was a good rod and reel combo overall. The rod and reel combo that feels good. Like if I was just going out, if you're just now jumping on here and you're just now thinking about starting fishing, let's run through it. Let's go through, and some of you guys are like, no, here he goes again. The combos that are already put together at Bass Pro Shops, the Mach combo looks good, feels good, and should be an overall decent combo, right? That's the Lew's. 2 something. Any of the Carbonite combos or the Johnny Morris signature ones, I like those better. Those rods, I still like better than the higher end Johnny Morris ones. That crazy one they got now with like a gray weird pattern wind grip and just a crazy too bright a red. It reminds me of the old cheap cherry wood Berkeley rods like that. They want like, I don't know, crazy amount of money for that, and they got so much stuff on it, just kind of like the carbon lights, that it just adds too much weight. The Johnny Morris, not signature, the technique specific rods, they don't have all of that on the blank. So no paint, no coating, just a little ways, and then it's like bare blank. They don't have, yeah, they're sort of almost like a micro guide, just like what the carbon light white ones have on it, but made very well. They've got the same handle assembly, it's just a different color. So you'll have that same feel if you want to get the white carbon lights and those technique specific Johnny Morris carbon lights and put you a little thing together there. That's probably the best way to go, because those rods usually end up going on sale. They're 119 to 129, and then they're always like having some kind of sale at any given time in the early spring, or then they just anytime something big events happening in fishing, they usually throw some of that stuff on sale. So like if I was on a budget, I'd be balling with the carbon light, and then I'd just be piecing together reels and whichever ones I just felt like I liked better. Probably some of the cheaper Lew's. Honestly, I'm thinking about getting one. Not because it's peanut butter and jelly color, but the Mike Iaconelli, the Ike reel with the bigger knobs. You guys know me, I'm into bigger knobs, but that reel is 150 and it's got a drag clicker. So you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the cheapest reel you can go buy in the United States? It's like literally for this market. You don't have to go to China, because I don't know, the $149.99, is that the cheapest reel you can get with a drag clicker in it? I'm not even sure. I can't figure out though why that reel weighs as much as it does. I think it's like 7 ounces or something, but I've been debating about buying one. But I'll be honest, let me tell you guys, know the deal. I'm tightwad. So I've already tracked it down where I get it for $109, and then I get a carbon fiber handle for $30. So instead of that, funky aluminum with the circles cut in it, I could get a 95 millimeter Lew's carbon fiber handle and that reel for $149, tax, shipped, and all. So I'm thinking about doing that and trying out that reel with those knobs. Content coming down the road for the channel, trying out some of this other stuff. I already know what I like. If I had the money, if I was rich, I'm not rich. If you guys would help me out, spread the word on this channel, and I stop buying stuff like Tactical Bass and keeps telling me to, I'd have enough money. I could go buy all. I'm right now. I'll tell you what I would do. I would do 2 things. I would buy every Megabass P5 they had, and I'd buy every NRX Plus and GLX, both, and the new Poison Adrena. I think I'd stay away from the Poison Ultimate. Seriously, even if I had all the money, I think I would buy. I'd probably get the Ultima, the Poison Adrena, the Ultima. I'd have them all. I'd buy one of everything, and then I would go through them and figure out which ones I like, and I would probably end up with. And when I say that, I'm talking about all of the shorter rods. I still don't think I would go fit. I mean, if I bought an $80,000 boat, maybe I'd go start fishing with stuff over 7 foot. Probably not. Then I would. I think I would get the NRX Plus. Honestly, is where I would end up, other than any of the softer stuff, because as I'm doing my research, I've come to the conclusion that I think I should stick with NRX Plus for any kind of bottom where sensitivity makes a big important factor. I still don't think anybody beats the NRX Plus. Somebody's going to jump in there and say Steez, but I'm definitely not trying some $1,200 rod. I'm definitely not trying some $750, $800 Poison Ultima rod. The Poison Adrenas are just not as sensitive. The blade, the P5s, they're just, in my opinion, they're sensitive. They're more sensitive than the Poison Adrenas, all those rods are more sensitive than the X Prides, and the X Prides are pretty sensitive. And most of the rods I've used over the years, you know, aren't horrible. Some, you know, most of the stuff nowadays, I really don't. That's why I kind of don't like glass rods. You guys know me. I like this crazy high modulus carbon fiber with a braid and shorter rods, so it's that fast. Like I'm a control freak. I need to know what's going on with that like lure at all times. So uh, yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do now. Is weed down, go through them, kind of put them in order where they should go. That's why I should get the a Phoenix rod. Phoenix feather. I should probably get some sort of falcon rod, but I can't make myself commit to any of the falcon stuff. I mean, I've got a couple of the lures. I got the high end lures, the mid tier lures. We're going to try those out. I don't think the lures. It may go close to where the poison adrenaline is on sensitivity. Well, I don't know. We can only hope. I'm sure it's not going to go anywhere near the Megabass P5s or the NRX Plus on sensitivity. But the thing is, the poison adrenals are more or less made to be like a versatile, more moving bait or everything, bottom and moving baits. And once you add braid, honestly, they're all pretty sensitive. That lightning rods with braid, you can pretty much detect bites. It's pretty much if you got a little bit of a tight line, you can feel it, and maybe it's the braid doing it or whatever. But they claim these stees with the AGS guy, like it's all carbon fiber, like it's a thing. I don't know. But I know just out fishing, I just get into like when I fished them, when I'm on bottom, I felt more confidence in the NRX Plus or the solid tipped carbon rods like the Tatula. So if I could track down another couple different ones like that. I hear they don't have it up at Rogers, but the Kage 7-footer is like that. And I may try it. But anyway, all right, that was a quick unboxing. I've been rattling on about all kinds of stuff. Stay tuned. Charles, get your peanut butter and jelly ready. Charles, you should come up and buy half this stuff I got up here for sale. You should just come buy it. You know you want to buy it. Brew Tank, he can't, he wants to trade. He wants to wheel and deal and do some trading. That does look good. That dirty jigs. So I'm going to try to find this color. What color was this again? Super Matte Brown. They had the go-to in a football jig. I wanted to get the go-to also so I could compare to all my colors and that kind of stuff. But they had it in a football, and I'm like, I don't need any more. I got enough. I got the few footballs I got laying around. That's plenty. I'm anxious to get these out also and see what rod I can set the hook with those. I've got a whole nother these colors. I got one more of each coming just so I'll have another one and able to order more. But I'm thinking, I'll be honest, I'm hoping my 803 can set the hook on that. If not, it'll be the Super Destroyer. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to go up, get warmed up, eat dinner, and I'm going to come back down here and resort all this stuff out at some point. But follow along. Let me know what if you guys have tried out any of those other rods that I'm talking about, or reels or loose reels. Let me know what you guys is. I mean, I already kind of know because I've had a few loose. I've had some of the Bass Pro Shops that were loose, and I've had the Abu Garcias, which they're basically made at the same place. They're all right there around that same quality level. You can't touch Shimano and Daiwa. Nobody can. That's like, we know that. Daiwa, Shimano. They kind of made a little different how their technologies, the way they one goes up, one comes down. But I've always just been more of a Daiwa fan. I've owned a bunch of Shimanos. Still own one. That the older, not the new Aldebaran BFS, the older BFS, probably my favorite Shimano ever. The Corrado BFS, probably my favorite palming reel ever. Just a touch heavy for no bigger than that reel was. But I always end up just getting rid of them. I think it's maybe due to the braking. I don't know. it's hard to beat. I'm telling you guys, it's hard to beat a Daiwa. Once you get Daiwas figured out and how to set them and how you like to cast, even before the boost. But the boost just gives you that, okay, Shimano, you can't talk about how you can outcast me because my boost goes right out there, right where you're at. And it doesn't even matter because if you outcast your hook setting ability, that is not a good idea anyway. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. As the AliExpress stuff comes in, I'll do an update at some point, let you guys know what all jigs I got ordered from. That looks like the jig. What jigs I got coming from Tackle Warehouse once I finally I need to either drop some or just order. It's like 180. It's almost $200 worth of jigs or jig tying material and a couple like come in 4-packs, just the naked jig heads that I can tie onto 2 different styles of one's like more of a rock, like I forget the name brand of those, but they come in like a 4-pack. And then 6 or 8 different colors just so I can make kind of that darker green pumpkin touching on to peanut butter, but maybe not peanut butter and that kind of stuff. So yeah, see you guys later. Get out, go bass bonsai, whatever you do, make sure you eat some Girl Scout cookies. I'll see you later.